David Swain has created a lathe, and I've got some photographs of it, and I'm going to, while David talks about this, I'd like to show you the pictures that I have that David generated for this. Get over here to the right one. The first time I saw something dealing with this, there it is. David sent me this. David is had a robust, was it David?
No, I had a Rikon lathe.
Rikon, okay. And after numerous tries, he decided virtually just to junk it and get rid of it. I didn't. The right picture isn't showing up right now. Um, okay, I'm trying to do the share on this, and I'm still getting my original image. Oh, I hate to shut it down or lose it. But what you're looking at right now is from the end view of his finished product. And you see all those photographs on the bottom? They'll be in our newsletter in a couple of weeks. Oh, damn, I got to get that out.
You can find them on my You can find them on my personal page in my photo section in an album.
Okay. David built this lathe. Built everything you're looking at right there. He's got some parts from his old lathe, his spindle and the chuck and what do you have that you surplused from your other machine?
Well, the quill and basically only the quill from the 220. The spindle is from a 7-500 Woodfast lathe that Woodcraft, or excuse me, no, Rikon used to handle. And some pill block bearings from Cranger. That was my starting point. And then with basically a mental image, I just worked from there, and the dimensions just fell into place for what I wanted. The motor and controller were both Rikon parts that were defective. I found the problem with the motor and fixed it. Found a cracked circuit board in the controller, fixed that, so I've got it working. It's all made out of plywood and hard maple.
It's Argentine plywood, right?
Pardon?
Argentine plywood, right?
Yes, it's from Argentina. It was used for making shipping crates to ship chicken fat to Campbell's soup. It's hardwood plywood. They just toss it or sell it when they get it. I got a deal and got myself a few. And the spindle pulleys I made from hard maple. And I know a lot of people think I'm going to kill myself, but everything runs beautifully. I've already turned one piece on it before I spiffed it up and painted it and everything. But Rikon motor, I replaced the bearings, got it running, fixed the circuit board and the controller. The quill is from a 220 VSR Rikon. They forgot to heat treat them. Well, I got around that. Got that working. But basically it's just Argentine plywood. I've got maple is the basic bed material, hard maple. I got hickory as my banjo extension when I want to go out to 16, 17 inches. This will support the banjo. And everything else I just scrounged.
David, the piece that is sitting on the lathe, can you hold it up so we can get a little bit better look at it? Folks, if you wonder what you can do on a shop-built wooden lathe, there it is. And that's not his finest work. He's still working on this thing and he's rocking and rolling. But do you believe that he turned that on a wooden lathe?
Well, it
That
turned,
Nice. It's a
it
that
solid.
turned,
is art. That is art in itself.
it
Beautiful
turned
job.
very, very, very well. It actually, I started it as a demo as to the lathe, the way it worked. I didn't finish it. The next day I went out and said, you know, I'm going to finish this thing. So I fired up the lathe, and I'm a big fan of ancient pottery. So I kind of followed their guidelines, and that's what I come up with. And the lathe performed spectacular. For a first run, I was really shocked. It did fabulously well. And everybody was worried about it staying, you know, the center staying. You'd have to know my turning style, but I beat a lathe pretty good. And the centers never moved. They're perfect. And I couldn't be happier.
Well, it's beautiful.
Great job
work,
all the way
David.
around, David.
Yeah. I know you. I know you're happy. I know I know the struggle that you had with that Rikon.
I'm going to send Rikon a video and tell him can I have a job as a designer?
Right?
They just went too cheap on their specs is what it was.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think you can't build lathes out of wood. They think it's, I'm getting a lot of flack online about it, but before the days of steel, all lathes were made from wood.
Those
with
people
Babbitt
have,
bearings.
yeah, those people have obviously never seen the Conover lathe.
I was gonna say,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
used
caught Ernie.
to live just north of Ernie Conover, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Ernie's daddy built them, and I mean, those were
Right.
great lathes.
I used one built in the 1800s when I was very young, and I just started in the mechanics field, and we turned diesel truck brake drums on them. Flat belt, Babbitt bearing, about 2,000 RPM. And we worked them things 10, 12 hours a day. And we never had a bit of problem. They never shook. They never had a problem with them.
Yeah.
And I've built other machines in my shop out of wood. And I won't criticize them because they don't know what the old days were like. But if you wanted to have a lathe, you build it yourself because you didn't go out and buy one.
Yeah.
Not unless you wanted a Montgomery Ward that wouldn't hold center in a million years.
Yeah. Monkey
But-
wards.
Yeah. Monkey Wards.
Okay, if you ever wonder how they bring the cost down on a machine, they don't bring the cost down, they bring the quality down.
Yes.
They can just build it for less money. So if they think about the nickel and not the user, you don't have a good piece of equipment. And that's the benefit of dealing with a reputable dealer for the type of equipment you get. And I'm not going to promote one product over another. It's what you prefer, but think about the long term. Who
Yeah.
are you dealing with? How can they take care of you? What would happen when you have a problem? Take all that in mind before you look at the nickel, because the dollar you're going to lose over saving that nickel.
Well, I've got about $225 in this lathe,
Oh man,
and it's 17-inch swing, 18 and a half between centers with the chuck installed. I get a little bit more with just the drive center. It doesn't shake, it doesn't come apart. I mean, it's built to last. A lot of people are afraid of them because they're made out of wood. Well, how old are trees? And they take a lot of storms, a lot of twisting, a lot of bending, and they don't break. They might pull them up by the roots, but they don't break as a rule.
Yeah, it's just a lack of understanding of people that are afraid of that.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of understanding the stresses and the grain orientation when you build something like this. You're dealing mostly with linear stress, and it's very easy to line up the grain, which takes basically all the fear out of failure. As long as you've got good solid wood, you line up the grain, man, you can push it really hard and it's not going to twist. It's not going to explode. I've been told, don't turn anything bigger than a pen on this because you're going to get hurt. If I thought that, I would have never built the thing.
Well, David, you did a wonderful job on it. It's a beautiful piece of work, and the wood turners here looking at it are going, "Wow, he turned
Yeah,
that
that's
on a
awesome.
wooden
Well,
lathe."
I appreciate
Thank
that
you.
very much. And if anybody has any questions, they can find me on Facebook. I'm on every group. And they can always PM me and I'll answer questions. That's not a problem.
Thank you,
Yeah.
David. Appreciate you joining us this evening. And this is a beautiful piece of work. And if when do we only turn wood turning? That's wood turning on wood. It's a beautiful
Thank you.
project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Very
very
Nice
much
job, David.
appreciate it.